I always expect this to be followed by a highlight. 7-7, going half court. This is the Murray in the corner. Murray for three.
Funny.
Bang!
You hear this and you think you're expecting a highlight.
What do you hear?
I hear this, and I was told this was the.
He's expecting a light.
No, no, it was this Led Zeppelin. This is
Who is this?
It's Led Zeppelin's
Led
Kashmir.
Zeppelin. And on Kashmir, this was the song you were supposed to play if you were going to have some fun. This was a sex song back then. It was supposed to be.
Whoa.
Yeah, it
Random.
was. Seriously, you're supposed to
Didn't
put
know
this
that.
on. Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Hey,
Is it
40
because
years
of the
ago.
beat, the
something
steady
like
beat?
that. Something like that. There were some other ones back then.
Jesus.
But that's what comes to mind, not headlines or highlights. Well, I guess maybe. The Nets beat the Cavs last night, 150 to 108. Yeah, just let that percolate for a minute. The Timberwolves come back from a halftime deficit, take down the Clippers 109-104. Both games were interesting for their own matters. Let's talk about Kyrie Irving for a minute. That was I don't know how to define what we witnessed in the first half from Kyrie. He was perfect from the field.
It's you know when you hear like what's like the perfect guitar solo in your mind from any band where you just hear it and you're just like, dude,
every note perfect. I agree.
It's like one of those. It's like one of those solo performances. It's like it was kind of like Whitney Houston's national anthem. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things where it's like you just like kind of quiet, just kind of watching. And you're like, dude, is he really 9 for 9 and 2 for 2 from three? And it didn't look like he was exerting a lot of, like sometimes when a guy's having a great game, like sweat's pouring all off of him and he's hustling to do everything. And it was like you said before the show, it's kind of like when Ray would go off. When Ray Allen, Jesus Shuttlesworth would go off, it just looked effortless.
It was so graceful.
It was graceful.
He was at the right moment, did everything absolutely perfectly for 24 minutes. It was perfect. And it wasn't Jordan-esque. There wasn't a moment where you went, holy smokes, I've never seen that before. But everything he did was perfect. The ball didn't even touch the net.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just layups and it wasn't just threes. It was drives to the lane. It was pauses and dishes. It was high pick and roll. It was coming around picks. It was all of that rolled into one. And Rudy, when we talked about it, I think you hit the nail on the head. Why? He looks so fresh.
He played half the season. And he did it fasted.
That's the other part. Did you know that he was Muslim?
I did. I knew this year.
I didn't know.
I knew this year I don't know when he started. But with Kyrie, never misunderstood. Who knows when he started, but I knew for a fact he was this year. And I know most of those guys, I know Enos Freedom. Is that his last name now? Enos Freedom reached out to Akeem. Everybody kind of reaches out to Akeem Olajuwon to be like, hey, what are some of the things you did to, come playoff time for Ramadan? And, consider you can't drink anything till what, 8?
Whatever, sundown.
Sundown.
Yeah, so sundown, he couldn't drink anything, eat anything. I don't know, it's different. But it didn't look like it didn't look like it bothered him.
I would be, if I'm Brooklyn, I'd be asking the NBA for the late game.
I know, right?
Like just so as soon as the sun sets, I can get an IV in him. But whatever it was, it worked at least for yesterday.
And then Kevin brought him home.
Yeah, that was the other thing that really was the takeaway. That Kyrie last night it was 5-on-2.
Yeah,
and it wasn't enough.
Dude, Steve Nash doesn't even play Blake and LaMarcus.
No,
they're DMP warriors.
LaMarcus looks like
and Blake. He doesn't play Blake Griffin either.
I think is Blake kind of dinged up because I felt like they could use him. I think there's a role for him there.
Saying.
I'm not sure where LaMarcus fits in all this because they're so athletic. Claxton does everything you need,
and LaMarcus kind of is a lane clogger.
Yeah,
like he's just sitting down there in the way.
And there might be a night where they need a guy to go get a bucket like that, and I think he'll play a role. But I am a little surprised that he wasn't playing.
Good win for them. They wanted no part of having to go and play another game, so they'll be facing Boston, which I'm excited for that series because Boston, team defense-wise, is the best in the league. So I'm looking forward to that series.
They're going to miss Robert Williams. Boston, it was even brought up last night in the postgame. One of the Nets spoke to Wilson's Robert Williams' absence. What's his nickname? He's got a great nickname.
I don't know. Got me.
And that team defense has suffered. This is going to be. We talked about
you get the 2 seed.
This
like
is
again,
epic.
We talked about this about 2 weeks ago. You've busted your butt as Boston, and your reward is Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving in the first round. Jason Tatum,
it's
Jaylen Brown.
It's time.
What y'all want to do? Do y'all want to take the torch, or y'all gonna lay down?
I tell you,
it's your time, Tatum. If you want to become a superstar, this is the series to do it.
And it'll give Ime Udoka the ammunition he's going to require to move this franchise forward. Because if Brown doesn't perform, if Tatum yet again,
it may be time to go in a different direction.
Ime Udoka will have full leverage to go do just that. Because this is the time. This is going to be one hell of a series. And
because you've put this team together to beat the Sixers, to beat the Bucks, to beat the Nets. Like, this is who you're saying, like, these are the guys that we're going to go with to beat the big dogs. And if you fall short again, Jaylen Brown is probably the piece you move.
Probably.
It's not Tatum. You don't trade Jason Tatum.
But there are many other plot lines to this. Kyrie going back to the scene of the crime, the wasted time that Kyrie spent in Boston. There's going to be a lot there. On the other side, Spurs had a vested interest in the second game of the night. Minnesota, the Clippers. Let's be real. Do we want any part of Minnesota right now?
No.
They have smoked us every which way but dry on during the regular season, and they showed a second half of what they're capable of. And the Clippers were, let's give them credit, man. That is a scrappy basketball team.
I love them.
It's 7 dudes that don't.
I love them without that guy there.
Yeah, seriously. He wasn't even in the building, was he?
You know what? I had a buddy text me last night, furious that we're giving this so-called superstar a pass because he's one of the only guys that just refuses to travel with his team. Is that a pass, or does that should not matter?
No, it matters.
Does it matter?
Yes,
should he be with the team? He should be with them, right?
Yes.
Speaking of Kawhi, should he be traveling with them? I don't know if that's a big deal or not. He was like, why? He was like, I feel like if LeBron or Steph wasn't traveling with the team, it would be a story. Why does he get a pass? I just told him, I was like, he's really forgotten. I just feel like Kawhi's been forgotten about.
And I guess you have to adopt that
I don't know
mentality.
if that's a thing, traveling with the team. I don't know.
No, it matters.
Okay.
It does matter.
Okay.
It doesn't matter as far as availability, but how are you going to just show up and dive into my foxhole? I'm covered in blood. I'm covered in mud. I got, I haven't showered in a week and a half, and I got that 1,000-yard stare, and you land in there. Hey, how y'all doing? Get the hell out of here. I'm glad you're here. Grab a gun. But it does matter.
Right? It's like an optic, right?
Yeah, all of that.
Perception, all of it.
And I know they're pros, and at the end of the day, it really doesn't. Go do your job. He wasn't going to play anyway. But I do think at the end of the day, when you're all fighting one thing and one guy just kind of shows up out of like, hey, I've been watching you on TV. It looked like it. Now give me the ball. Now it matters. And if you're Ballmer and you own the team and your primary piece doesn't even show up for the games, doesn't do any press, doesn't do anything.
He was hanging out at Rams playoff games while they were playing on the other side of where they were playing in Inglewood or wherever the building is. While they have a game, Kawhi's at a Rams playoff game. It's weird optically. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it because it's Kawhi, but I just feel like there's other superstars that'll be like, he should be there coaching them up and giving them,
all of that. And you know what? Norman Powell does not get the love he deserves.
He's a bucket.
Oh man,
he's a bow-legged bucket.
Bow-legged bucket. he plays defense. I've never seen a dude play defense with his legs spread wider. He's doing the splits.
I look at Norman. I'm like, dude, I would hate. Bow-legged people scare me. I'm like, yo, I'm not letting you score on me with you walking up like some parentheses.
Just got off a horse.
He's a walking parenthesis. Like, no, you're not scoring on me, dog.
You can't get around them. Those bow legs go wide.
I like bow-legged women.
Here's to swimming with bow-legged women.
Bow-legged women are dope.
You can swim between their legs.
But Norman Powell, I can't let you score on me, dog. You walking up here looking like that. No. You should probably be 6'8", but he's so bow-legged. He's 6'6".
I didn't mean to blow him up. I was trying to give him some
only
love.
babies should be that bow-legged. Like, Norman, your legs never formed from your 1-month-old? Anyway, but props to Anthony Edwards. He's a dog. Anthony Edwards. Let me leave Norman. I'm sorry, my bow-legged men out there. I apologize if I offended you.
And here's to swimming with bow-legged women.
But I'm glad the Clippers lost, Rob. That's so it's unfolding how we wanted to. The first part happened. Now we got to go do our job.
We just make comments on culture.